Hey there, Wargamers, Justin our Paint here, and today we're going to check out some BLKOUT. I'd like to welcome you guys back to the channel. If you are new here, please alpha strike that like and subscribe button. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for tuning in to help support what I do. Especially given today's video topic is something a little bit different for us here on the channel. Recently you guys heard I'm going to be trying to branch out and do some more than just Battletech. This is a perfect time for me to showcase something new, maybe get some minis painted and put something up on the channel. Before we check out the miniatures though, let's go ahead and take a moment to discuss what we're actually going to be looking at today. So the guys over at Enemy Spotted Studios, the company behind BLKOUT the game, sent over the new 2-player starter for me to check out. New 2-player starter comes in at MSRPing, I believe, at $120, and it's going to give you 2 factions to play with. Obviously, 2-player starter. You're going to have Task Force Boone and the UN Reserve Force, which are 2 really awesome two awesome forces that I've had the opportunity to paint for them for their box art, which is really cool. I'm not biased at all, but I think those paint jobs turned out pretty dope. That said, of the 2 factions you guys are going to see in just a moment, I'm a big fan of the UN. I love the aesthetic on that. Task Force Boone's probably tied for second because their other force I really like is Manticore. That said, I've digressed a little bit. Now let's go ahead and talk about the other things that come with the 2-player starter. So you're going to get 2 faction boxes. You're going to get a rule book. They also have the digital rules online, so if you happen to skip forward in this video and you look at the minis and you like them, you can get the rules on their website for free, so you can dip your toes in and see if you like it. But 2 factions, rule book, you're going to get a set of dice and some new punch-out tokens and so forth, which is really cool. DRD, we produce the actual acrylic tokens for their current premium starters, but these new cardboard punch-outs are probably going to be pretty superior, much easier to get on the tabletop, not having to peel, and they're not going to like smell because sometimes the cut acrylic has odor. So pretty much a win-win all around. Inside the boxes, as you guys are going to see, we've got the minis, we've got the unit cards, the force cards, which are kind of like a faction or codex, tells you how to like do your force building and what your special rules are. And then we're going to have a little card insert that's going to tell you the universal special rules, because every faction's got very similar stuff. Instead of printing in everything, they've just got this little insert card, which is really cool. One of the main reasons that I'm excited about checking out this game is because of the speed of it. So being able to do battle reports here on the channel is imperative to the channel's growth. It's a big part of what I do. One of the hard parts of doing that is taking something that's going to take 2 hours to film and condense it down to an hour if we can do it. Their game touts that you could play a game in 30 minutes, which here on the channel, let's be honest, I do a lot of gabbing and talking, so we're probably not going to get those battle reports down too fast, but knowing that the game is designed to be quick is really important. So that's going to be a fast-paced game, and it's been described to me as something similar to Infinity, but without all the BS. Nothing wrong with Infinity, but it's really complicated. This game is just no frills, all chills, really fast-paced game, which I'm pretty excited about that. The other, or the second benefit of this game currently, not to shield too much for Enemy Spotted Studios, but it's an honest opinion here. It's very low model count. So you don't have to paint like a Warhammer 40K scale force to get things on the table. And finally, before we switch on over here, I know you guys are waiting to see the minis. One of the biggest things that's really cool about this is it's American made, vet owned. And while DRD helps produce miniatures for them, we are also still in the United States as well. So they tout that vet owned and operated and American made, and they do everything here, and we help do some of the manufacturing for them too. So it's really cool. So if you happen to invest in this game, this ecosystem, and try it out, you're supporting veterans and you're supporting US-based companies and keeping people employed like myself. So those are all pretty awesome things. Fast-paced game, great looking minis, and again, veteran owned and US based. So that said, let's go ahead and flip it around here. As I mentioned, you guys know I have the gift for gab, so let's get to the important part, show you guys what's actually in these box sets for you today. All right guys, with the gift of the gab out of the way, let's go ahead and check out the Enemy Spotted Studios new BLKOUT 2-player starter. So first and foremost, we've got the 2 faction boxes. We've got the Task Force Boone and UN Reserve Team or Force, and I did the box art minis for these, which is pretty neat. You're also going to be getting a rule book, which is pretty cool. Set of D10s, Universal Special Rules card. All these are things I mentioned in the intro, obviously. But you get that, which is a nice little addition. And then we get a nice little sheet of tokens here, which is pretty cool as well. And these are nice punch-outs, cardboard versus the acrylic that we were doing. And this is just way easier, less tedious, because with the acrylic ones, you had to peel the backers off. And these are double-sided, punch them, and go. So that's pretty nice. So I do wish that this had art on the back. It's unfortunate it doesn't. When we dig into these, you'll see why I think that this should add some art, because it just would have been a nice place, or even if it's just a BLKOUT logo, something on here would have been nice. But when we get to this, you'll see some of the cool artwork they've got. But this is some of the special rules that you're going to see across a variety of the models from the forces that you're going to have. So if I recall, this comes in at 120 MSRP, and getting the rulebook with it is nice. This is not required to be in physical. They do have the digital up on their website. All the other rulebook expansions for PDFs are all digital only as of now. I don't know if they're going to do physicals. It would be good. I'm a big fan of physical media because it's easier for me to flip through than to look at a computer screen. So I do hope that those other PDFs at some point get combined into a big book. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but that would be cool. But the book itself, not a huge amount of material that you have to go through. I think it took me less than an hour to read all this. And I read it when I was coming home from Adepticon. I was riding in the back of the car, and I read through the rule book. So not a particularly heavy book to have to read. Pretty straightforward. And then as you get towards the end, you get, so here we are on page 25. When you flip to 25, 26 is art, and these are the scenarios. And then 27 through... was that 38? Actually, that's not even that. That's quick reference. So 35 through 38 is quick reference. And then 27 through 34 is scenarios. So not a huge amount of rules. And if this was a full standard rule book, it'd be even less pages for you to have to read through. So not too bad. Pretty easy to digest. That said, you guys are probably here because you want to see the minis. So let's go ahead and rotate this out because these are the medals. And whoops, wherever it's at, there it is. The medals. And I've got a copy of the resin ones here as well, so I can show you the side-by-side comparison of the minis included. So let's go ahead and crack this open. Boop. Boop. And when you pop this open, your first thing you're going to be greeted with is the force card, or the unit cards, and the force card. So when I was talking about the universal special rules and art, this is why. These are double-sided, and this gives you a little bit of information about the team or the faction. And then you've got your battle drills, your force rules, and your armory, so your special rules for Task Force Boone. So is this required for gameplay, this portion of the card? No, this is for your fluff. This is the rules, but it's nice and double-sided and looks cool, gives you a good reference for what you might want your forces to look like. So I think this small thing could have had a cool art piece on there. That said, again, here are your rules and the special things that your units can do. And then you're going to get 3 cards here. And in the rule book, they've got a breakdown of the anatomy of the cards. So let me bring that up real quick so we can explain what these are. So when you're looking at your card here, this is, I believe, the number of armory things that you can use. Number 5 is your skill. And then, what is that? 6 is what your movement, movement value. I believe it's your armor, yep. And then 8 is the number of grunts in your team. And 9 is your weapon. So pretty straightforward on that. And then you've got some special rules that you have over here, which, which they cover some of the stuff that your guy can do. So this is pretty cool. This is a 2-man team. So that is the Task Force, the Task Force Boone Recon team. And we've got the VAT element. So same kind of concept. And kind of cool because with the faction here, you've got the armory. And if I recall correctly, you can mark these off so they can use up to 2 of these per game. So they get 2. This is like kind of their disposable gear that they carry on them. So it's kind of cool. But this is a 1-man guy. And then you have this. This has no symbol here, but he's a single bro by himself. And this is the Razorback, which is one of my favorite guys in the box because I like the Mecha Bro. So looks very, very cool. I don't know if I showed the back of that one either. But there you go. And you'll notice this guy can actually take a little bit of damage. These guys, if you get hit, you die. So let's check out the minis. Let's get the cards out of the way here. And we'll take a peek at the minis. And this is where the resin and the metal are going to come into play so you guys can see the compare and contrast in terms of what units are in here, what they look like. So when you pop open the resin, you're going to be looking at this. When you pop open the metal, you're going to be looking at some bags of minis and then the silver or single Razorback. Now, you notice the Razorback is still in resin, whereas over here, it's not metal. These were still produced in resin to keep the cost down, and I think because of some of the limitations of the material at that time. So when you're looking at your little metal bros, let's pop this out. So this bag has 2 guys in it, and the box itself, this one comes with 7 guys and 1 robot, and this is 2 of the metal guys. So this one right here, the little arm piece that comes with them. So a little bit of assembly required on that. If I can get that notched in there. There we go. So there. Sorry, a little awkward holding that tiny little piece. The metals are going to be, if you've ever dealt with Infinity miniatures, the fiddliness of the metal is going to be a little similar to that because they are kind of small, not the end of the world. And then this one, this little bro's got just this one a little bit, or the double arms here, which is going to be a little bit easier to kind of put on there. In theory, I say that. Your host says this, and then he's struggle busting it. There we go. So, now actually the fitment seems a little bit more fiddly than I would have expected, unless I've got it up too high. Did I have it up too high? Yeah. You may end up having to kind of bend these a little bit to find the actual exact fitment, because it looks like this arm right here, if I can get a focus here, thank you camera, this arm right here is not quite seating properly, but you can kind of get an idea of what that would look like. Now, as a comparison, this is what the guy's going to look like in resin. Got a little residue. You generally don't have to clean these because there's no mold release on these because they're 3D printed, but you can see where this arm is one solid piece, it connects here, and that was the little piece we were playing with, so not too bad. One of the things that is really nice on these is the metal, you can kind of bend it. If this, like this little antenna part was kind of bent, you can push it back and you're fine. With these, if your weapon barrels or antennas, things like that are bent, you need to use a little bit of hot water, but they're going to be more fragile, so more likely to snap. So the metals are going to be a little bit more durable, albeit at the cost of being a little bit more annoying to assemble. The plastic or the resins aren't going to need assembly. So let's pop this guy back in the bag so I don't get him mixed in with the other bros. And let's see if we can't find, so there's no toe tags on these, we have tags on these. Let's see if we can find which one this guy is. So left leg forward, running, and so it is this one. There you go. And I don't hate metals. Working with them can be a little bit annoying, but I like the feel. They feel like premium, and the price point on them is the same. So if you want to get metals, same price as the resin. So pick the type of material that looks good for you. So let's actually see. I'm looking at like kind of how that was. Maybe I was just struggle busting trying to get that weapon on there. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, yeah. And it looks like the barrel's kind of bent. Yeah, you can see where it's not perfectly straight. So if we bend that back out, that'll help a little bit with the assembly. So got a little bit of a crooked gun going on. It's one of the downsides to the metal, especially with these, because that's super duper thin. So you're gonna have to kind of mash that out and get it kind of straightened back out. I would probably come in with, I've got like a metal X-Acto blade type thing, pressure on that, and then try and flatten that out and get these lined back up. But it's actually pretty soft there, so it's a little bit more malleable than I was expecting. I've worked with metal before, but I expected the cross section on that rifle to be a little bit more harder to bend. Let's take a look at the Razorback Bro though, which is pretty neat. And we've got a sprue here. And those are his arms, left, right arm respectively. Well, yeah, right, left. And then he's got these little missile pods that would go up here. Actually, I think I got it upside down. Like that. Yep. And at the bottom of our boxes here, you will find, and I have not shown it yet, you will find the bases. So there will be, in this particular case, 7 of the small bases and 1 of the large one for these bros. Now, let's grab some of the other metals and see if I can't give you a quick side-by-side comparison with the resin, just so you get a pretty good look at what's in here. So we've got this guy right here. Let's see. Left leg forward. Nope, not him. Guns down. Let's see. Huh. It's not that bro. Which bro are you? Oh, this one. I was struggle busting. So I was struggling because I was looking for the head visuals, and this one's got the hand. So he's got the binoculars, and I was sitting here looking for just that helmet, and then this guy's got the hand up, and I was struggling to find the matching guy. So let's just lay that out so you guys can take a quick little peek as a comparison. Let's plop this down. It's going to be a little bit more cleanup on the pewter than on the resin, but you're going to get some durability out of this one. As you can see, his gun's kind of bent sideways, so we're going to have to kind of do as best we can to get that straightened back out here. Whereas, again, if one of these is bent that way, you're going to have to use some hot water because you can see it's wiggly and it's more prone to snap. I don't want to break it, but any more than the pressure I'm putting here, and that's going to break. Now, one of the things you'll notice if you get any of these guys with the AKs, be careful because they're particularly thin. This is also pretty thin from a 3D print. The AR-15s are usually pretty good, or the M4s. These are pretty solid, they're pretty robust. But that gun right there is really, really thin, so you're going to get a lot of flex in that. So that's one of the things we've got. At DRD, they use ABS-like, so they are reasonably durable with a little bit of flex, but there's still some issues or some reasons to be delicate with your minis. Don't be slinging them around. And we got this little bro. So let's see. Is it that guy? I think it's that guy. Yeah. Let's check gun. Yep. So it is this bro right here. And again, I'm a big fan of metal minis. I also like hard plastic. I like the feel. It feels nice and premium. The cleanup's going to be a little bit annoying. Again, you get that durability, but it feels nice in your hand. This isn't going to be something that you guys care much about, but on some of the resins, you can actually get some texture on the bottom of the feet. When you do this, you can actually feel the treads. You don't get that on the metals, it looks like. Not that that's something you guys are probably going to care too much about, but that's there. One of the other things you'll probably have when you work with the metals is struggling with, actually, you can see a little bit of texture there. Struggling with mounting them to bases because they might want to break off more easily than the plastics. For that, you can actually use a pin vise or hand drill into the heel, not the toe, the heel, because you got that whole ankle and leg to go into. Drill down in, probably about right here to where the ankle would be. Drop yourself a pin, drill holes into the base, mount them to the base, and then normally what I'll do is I'll take the base and we'll mount the guy like this, right? And then those pins will come through the bottom, and then I'll fold the pins over, so one this way, put a little super glue across it, and then he ain't coming back off unless you yank him off the pins. So that's pretty nice, whereas if you glue him straight to this and you bonk him and knock him over, he might just pop off because it's a contact between metal and plastic, whereas that cyanoacrylate super glue is going to give you a better bond, plastic to plastic versus metal to plastic. So, and definitely plastic cement's not going to help you with this. So if you have concerns with that, pinning is good. I don't think you're going to have to worry too much about the arms on these for pinning. If I'm particularly honest, I don't think that's going to be the end of the world. Because I don't like if you somehow knock these off, you've really mangled them up pretty good. That one actually socketed in pretty well, just by dry fit here with my fingers. The first one I was working with, the gun was kind of warped, so it was going to be a little bit more difficult to actually get that back into place. And I apologize, guys, for camera. I'm trying to get it to stay focused and super tight in there, but I just reorganized my desk, so things are a little bit different. I keep kind of falling off the bottom, but at least you guys get a pretty good look here. And that guy looks pretty badass. One of the things I really like about the BLKOUT minis so far, with taking a peek at them, is the actual the aesthetic in general. It just looks really, really cool. I always liked Infinity, and this is again kind of Infinity without all the BS. So I really like the aesthetic. So for this one, we've got, looks like this bro. And there's this big old gun. And that one's probably not terrible to mount up either. This looks like it's got a little flex to it, so you're gonna have to push that in. I really do wish these had less bend in them. I'm not a fan of that, mostly because like it gets kind of question marky, and that's just, I don't know. I've helped pack these, so we pull them out of the bag and they're all just kind of like in there. So there's not much you can do. At least they aren't breaking, but I do wish that had a little bit more rigidity to it, but that's just, it is what it is. This gun itself looks really, really cool. Some of the stuff that you'll see from their game is there's a lot of realism. I don't know what this would be. Got a nice little box magazine there, but like this I can pretty well identify. I mean, most people know that. And then they've got one of their handler units that has a marksman who's got a M14, which I'm familiar with because of the M1A for the civilian. So I like seeing some of that, but that one's really nice because it's nice and futuristic and different. So let's see. All right, so this one's definitely with this guy because that arm mounts here. And you could tell this is going to need a little bit of adjusting because there's a gap between the gun mount and where it's supposed to socket in right there. That's supposed to touch the actual buttstock, which is a little annoying because that arm is in, that hand is in, and then the hand's got a little rounded part and then a dimple. So that's in there. And then the actual gun itself does not actually mount or does not touch the buttstock. So in order for that to touch, you'd have to like really arc that back, and that doesn't make sense. And it looks like a little piece of material is simply missing. There's a little bit of a gap there. Even holding that on my fingers, that hand is socketed in. If you were to shave the hand to make the gun socket further back, it can't. You'd lose part of your hand. So that one might actually require a little bit of green stuff. That is a little bit unfortunate. And let's see if we can find the bro that goes to. Right leg forward. Yeah. And you can see the way that gun mounted on that guy. Yeah. That is rather unfortunate. But even on the resin guy, you can see that spot right here is what's missing. And yeah, it just doesn't show up on him. Not the end of the world, but it'd probably just take a little bit of green stuff to get that going. But it is a pretty sizable gap there that you can see. Let me get my X-Acto blade here. You can see right there, and you can put the blade right through it. Yep. All right, and for the last little bro, we have... Did I have the wrong hand? Am I just dumb? No, I had the right one. Who does this go to? Oh, I see. The buttstock goes up and over. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so that one's solid. And I think that one is this guy. Yeah, and actually, I kind of like... Yeah, the gun on this one, the resin's retaining the detail a little bit better, I feel. Especially right up in here with the buttstock. Look how much we're losing on that one by comparison. It's going to take a little bit of cleaning to get in there. Especially the spot right above the wrist where it's filled in with a hole with metal. So if you go for the metals, there's definitely going to be a cleanup process, preparation process that the resins aren't going to really have. But you're going to be trading that for the durability and the kind of overall feel of the metal. So that said, that is a look at the Task Force Boon. Let's go ahead and take a quick peek at the UN Reserve. All right, so got our UN Reserve up on deck, metals on the left, resin on the right. Let's go ahead and swoop, get these boxes popped open so we can check out what we've got going on here. Okay. So much like with our Task Force Boon, we pop these open. We're going to be greeted with cards first. So we've got this wonderful artwork, and I love the UN artwork. The 3rd Battalion here is fantastic, and the original UN box is also great. Freaking love it. It looks sick. Manticore, I really like how they look. I also painted the Manticore and Harlow for their box art. Did not paint the UN one, someone else did, but I have a set to paint to see if I can persuade them to use some artwork. But I absolutely love these. So I did paint the box art for these bad boys too, and absolutely just love how they looked. Peacemakers are my favorite models. It's just super dope. One of the other things I really like about these guys is they've used some of these like AI drone robot guys, and we'll see, what are they called? Pointman. And then the other set has their own little robo dudes called golems, which is really cool too. I'm a big fan of that. I think the robo guys look cool. So here is the reserve rifle team. We've got our pointman. And you'll notice we have the cards for reference, but there's more dudes in here than there are cards. I believe there's 2 pointmen in there, and I believe there are 4 reserve or 4 fire team guys. So you have 1 card for 2 grunts. So it'd be 2 units of them, if I recall, because that would be 2, 4, 5, 6. That's what you've got. And then you've got the Peacemaker. And he could take 3 pips, which is really nice. I feel like the UN gets 1 less guy, so I counted as 6 plus the robot, whereas the Boon got 7 guys plus the robot. The UN's got tanky dudes. That's kind of the trade-off there. So same kind of cards, and then again, and you see there's 6 bros on the bottom. We will have our bases. So let's go ahead and grab our metals. And you'll notice that the Peacemaker in this one is also resin, just like with the other guy. And this one we got a little bit more to work with here. It's got a ball and socket kind of vibe here. So there's the torso and the hips. And then we've got the, I believe that's his right arm and then left arm. If I got that right. Yep, right arm's gun. And his left arm is this little gizmo, and then his legs. So, and then the pock marks and stuff off of this that are left on here aren't too bad, and it's going to be mostly on the undersides where you can't see stuff, so the cleanup shouldn't be too bad. So you notice this is the outward facing spot that looks the best, and then you should be able to just pop that right. Oh boy. Well, managed to break a model on screen. Now that we've done that and you've seen the limitation, let's see what we could do to pop that other foot off. When I built these, I don't recall this being that big of a deal, but maybe don't do what I did. Usually these supports come off pretty easy. So we'll come in here and at least see how hard it is to get this one dislodged. If you are worried about this after having seen it, one of the things you can do is use a little bit of hot water and it will soften up those sprues pretty easy for you. There we go. Normally I'm used to just popping these off. Like I've put together a couple of these and I've not once snapped that ankle, but I sure did snap that one. So pop your sprues off first, or snip your sprues off first, and then that'll help alleviate some of that. But again, that's not normally an issue that I've had. So, but it might just be the surface area that's right here. But this is one of the legs. So got a leg. This won't be too bad to try and fix. We just got to re-glue the foot. And like I said, if you're worried about this, dunk this in some warm water, and then it'll soften everything up. And you can see how that popped off pretty easy. That's what I'm used to. I'm used to that stuff just coming right off, and then you clean these up with a little scrape and you're good. I'm not sure why that one just sheared the way that it did. I'm not used to that. I've literally put together plenty of ESS minis, both for commissions there and then testing prototypes at DRD, and I've not had that happen. So as a first. All right, so let's go ahead and check out the pointmen. So we've got our bag of pointmen. So we got this little bro first, and let's see, he's gonna have this arm. And looks like that's gonna socket right into there. So not too bad, and that should be this pointman, I think is the one for comparison. So let's go ahead and get a little tighter on here. Let you guys take a quick peek. And one of the things I want to do on these, because I want to do some, I want to paint some more. I want to paint another unit of these up because I did the box art for these and I send them to ESS, so I don't have them anymore. On these, I want to put some cool antennas on them. A quick little sneak peek at what I'm working on. I've got one of the new dusters here, and I put these sweet antennas on. I want to put something like that on the pointmen right here on their little heads. This spot right here. It's got a little nice spot that you could put like an antenna, or even drill down into that circle thing right there and put an antenna, or maybe both, maybe a long one and then a short one. I think that would be really, really cool and a small modification. So you can see a little bit easier on this one. You put a little antenna here or there or both, so a little easier to see with the lighting. So, and then pointman number 2 will be this one. There we go. And you can see how that arm's gonna have to be bent a little bit to get in. You can see the gun's got a little sway to it, a little curve. So when we line up his right arm, the left arm doesn't line up perfect, so we're gonna have to kind of maneuver that into place. So again, the metals are gonna take a little bit of actual finesse to get them together, and that'll be this one. And see, that's screaming for an antenna. Really, really screaming for an antenna. All right, so that's our pointmen. And you'll notice again, as I was saying, the squad size is 1, but you get 2 pointmen, so you have this card represent 1 guy, and you've got 2 of them, so just double. All right, and let's go ahead and check out the next 2. These are going to be some of the infantry, the reserve fire team. So we've got the bazooka guy, or rocket guy. There we go. They definitely look pretty cool. So I feel like, and this just could be my brain playing tricks on me, I feel like the metal ones feel ever so slightly smaller for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if that's actually true, just my brain. My brain doing brain things. Let's get this, if I can get that arm up there. Well, sort of got it up there. All right. And that is the kneeling bro. I can say I do feel like the assembly on the metal ones here is going, if you're used to Infinity, I feel like after looking at these a little bit closer, the assembly might be a little bit more tedious than what you're used to with Infinity. When I've built plenty of Infinity, I don't feel like the arms are quite as annoying to get lined up like that. So your mileage may vary though, but be warned, you'll need a little effort put into trying to get these to work. Let's see, I think that is this bro. A little resin straggler hanging off that guy. And this is probably one of my favorite models in the UN box because I really like that action run pose. But be aware you only have 1 foot for mounting, so this guy's really easy to knock off the base. I did that a bunch when I was painting. And then 100% you probably want to pin this guy, so you want to drop that pin into that heel and then mount him to the base because it's his metal and he's heavy and he's going to be on 1 foot. And if you knock that base over, or knock him over, he might just fall right off. And I think, is it this one that's you? Yeah, so under, yeah, I think that's his arm. Or something like that. That one's not too bad. And then our last little bro. Okay. And he's got a little buttstock here. We'd have to line that up with to try and get everything together. So like these ones that are one single part that has to hit 3 spots is a little tedious because you'd want to get this arm in and then you're going to have to maneuver and bend everything else to get that in there. So it's going to be a little tedious, and then getting that to line up because like that's in there. That arm's in there, but that gun ain't in there. So you're going to have to like bend and push down, and it's going to be a little, and then yeah, it can be a little tedious trying to get that to work. So, and that is this one, I think. Yeah, that one. So all in all, between the metal and the resin, I don't mind the metals. I like the resin's quality. It still looks good. I like the durability and the feel of the metal, but definitely not as big of a fan of the how you're going to have to try and assemble these because it's going to be a little tedious, and for some people who don't want to do as much hobbying, that's going to be a little annoying to try and do. Because again, I've got both those arms right now held in place with my thumbs, and that buttstock, look how far off that is. So there's a gap, and we'd have to mash the gun down in and try and bend while holding those. That's going to be a little tedious, a little annoying. That your mileage, again, may vary. But if you're worried about your guns breaking and your barrels and stuff, the metal might be for you. If you like the durability of the metal as well, that's nice. If you don't mind, these guys are definitely going to be lighter and a little easier to work with over the metals. So that said, let's go ahead and get these guys out of the way, and we will take a quick peek at the tokens and give you guys some final thoughts. All right, so we got the tokens and the dice. The dice are a nice addition because the OG 2-player starter that has Manticore and Harlow does not come with dice. I have no idea if that was a good roll, but we rolled a 10, a 9, and a 4. One more roll, 10, a 4, and a 2. Fantastic. I don't know how good those were, but they do roll. But yeah, the Manticore and the Harlow 2-player starter, the OG, comes with, does not come with these. It does not come with this. It will come with a set of tokens and a rule book, but does not come with the dice or this universal card. So these are nice little additions to have. And then the tokens here are really sweet. Again, I don't have the acrylic tokens with me from work on hand, but these are a really nice game component over the acrylic ones. The acrylic ones are really, they're nice because they're acrylic, but again, they all, as I mentioned again in the video, they all have that backer on that you have to peel, which is annoying. So let's see. Yeah, so I got that nice thick cardboard, what we're used to. If you're familiar with board gaming, pretty durable. I'd have to really force to bend that, so as long as you don't spill your beer or your soda or your water bottles on this, you're good to go. I don't know right off what any of these things do. I think these are objective markers because I have not played the game yet. So this is my first foray into actually looking at the components beyond simply just being the little painter bro. So that's not much more to say on those. Those are just our tokens. So as a recap, we got tokens, we got dice, we got our universal special rules card. You're going to get a set of faction minis here. So we will get our UN bros with cards, and then we will get our task force boon with cards. So this would come in at $120 MSRP if I recall. If you happen to go shopping on their website, you can hit some thresholds to get some promos. I think right now if you hit a threshold, I don't remember, I think 150 might have been shipping, free shipping maybe, I don't remember. And then I think 200 you get a free UN pilot currently as of filming this. I believe that's what the promos are. So keep an eye out for that, especially for like Black Friday. They do some really stellar deals too, like Enemy Spotted Studios. The guys over at BLKOUT, they are trying to grow this game and they're always doing cool shit. The other really thing that's nice is their old Kill Wager minis are really good proxies for this. So if you see like a Kill Wager model that says Manticore or Harlow or UN, the aesthetic is essentially the same. So be on the lookout for that because proxies are definitely a thing that you can sub in and out here. Do I think this is a good value? I don't want to shill for them. They're not necessarily paying me to do this video, though I do hope at some point they'll be paying to have me do some content. I think one of the things that this has got going for it is the price point's not terrible for 2 players at $60 with the rule book included, which I forgot to put in frame. It's not too bad. If you buy one of these boxes alone, they're going to be $60 versus if you buy a 2-player starter where it's $120, you get the rule book for free, or well, I didn't say for free, but the rule book with it, which is free online, but the digital or the physical one would cost money, so you're getting it on top. So you're paying $120, which would be the cost of both of these boxes together. Plus, you're going to get a rule book, plus dice, plus tokens, plus this sheet. So not too bad. When you compare this to games like Warhammer 40K or Infinity, it's definitely not terribly expensive, and you don't have to buy really anything beyond this if you don't want to. You could buy more booster boxes of units when they come out. You can buy the dusters, you can buy the Badlands Blacklist unit box, which is going to have 8 other little bros in there, and they've got this little dune buggy. All those are optional things you can buy, especially if you are buying the other expansion PDF books and you want to play those scenarios, use those units, great. If you're just using this, you can just grab this rule book, these, give the game a shot, and see if you like it. One of the other nice selling points, as I have mentioned before, though, is that this game is designed, owned, and operated by veterans, and everything is US-based. So DRD is not vets, but we are US-based, and we're working to fulfill for a veteran-owned company. So that is really nice, and the price point being what it is for a game that is not manufactured in China is pretty badass. So I like that, and also the guys over there are really nice and super energetic. There's a reason why I've done box art for them. I do like getting paid, but I generally don't like being paid to do stuff for people I don't want to work for. If I don't like them, I won't take the job, or they have to pay me the nuisance fee. They don't get charged a nuisance fee. They get a pretty decent pay rate from me, and I enjoy working on the minis, and I like seeing my stuff on the box art, and I like supporting what they do, and I'm enjoying seeing this game grow. So if you're interested in seeing gameplay for this, at some point I'll have some videos up online when I can get to it. In the short term, check out Gorilla Miniature Games. Ash Barker over there just put up a video this week as of filming this, where he does the Let's Play video where he breaks down the rules and they play a game. It's a bit more longer form, I think about an hour and a half, but that's because they're talking and they're learning the rules and going through it all as one video versus just doing a straight battle report. Also, there's some other reviews online. I know Ash has done stuff, and so has Uncle Adam from Tabletop Minions, man, I couldn't remember that. He's done one too. So this game's starting to really blow up. It's getting a lot of traction, and I can tell you they keep us very busy over at Death Ray Designs, manufacturing the 3D prints for them and fulfilling orders. So helping support them also supports me and helps keep me employed. And there you have it, folks. That is my quick first glance look at the new BLKOUT starter box with the Task Force Boon and the UN Reserve Force. If you guys like this, let me know in the comments down below. If you're interested in checking out the game, would love to hear your thoughts. And if you're on the fence, what's got you on the fence? What might tip you over? If you guys are already in the ecosystem for this game, are you excited about the new 2-player starter, or are you really excited about pitting your current forces off against the new miniatures? Let me know in the comments down below. If you guys are interested in seeing more BLKOUT here on the channel, share the love, let me know your thoughts. I'm really curious about painting up something else here to play with. I've been talking to some buddies about getting some forces ready to do some battle ports, so we'll see what we can have moving forward. That's it though, folks. That's all I've got for you today. As always, keep painting your models, keep rolling your dice, maybe check out BLKOUT, and I will catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and being here with me today. I pour a lot of time and passion into every video, and I genuinely hope it adds something to your hobby experience. If you've enjoyed today's content and want to see more, consider supporting me over on Patreon. Every little bit of support helps fuel what I'm doing here, and it truly makes a difference. Whether it's a few dollars or simply sharing the channel with others, your support means the world to me and allows me to keep doing what I love and hopefully inspiring you along the way. A huge thank you as well to all my sponsors, Monument Hobbies, Fortress Miniatures and Games, Baron of Dice, and Death Ray Designs as well. Their backing is vital to the channel, and if you're in the market for top quality paints, miniatures, dice, or terrain, please check out their links below. Not only will you be picking up some great products, but you'll also be supporting this growing community we share together. Thank you so much for watching, and for your time, and for being a part of this journey with me. As I sign off today, let's go ahead and highlight some awesome patrons who are helping fuel this journey we're on together and helping keep things going.